Professor Paul Langford, an archaeologist, and his daughter Catherine discover cover stones, also known as pyramidions or capstones, inscribed with Egyptian hieroglyphs and other inscriptions in Giza, Egypt, in 1928. Underneath, he finds a big, unidentifiable metallic ring. Daniel Jackson, Ph.D., an Egyptologist and linguist, is invited by Catherine in 1994 to translate the hieroglyphs. Colonel Jack O'Neill of Special Operations is in charge of a classified project run by the U.S. Air Force that includes the stones. After some investigation, Jackson deduces that the hieroglyphs speak of a stargate that locates itself in space using constellations. The Giza ring contraption, the Stargate, is then displayed to him. They match the revolving inner track of the Stargate with chevrons, markings, along its exterior using his coordinates. The Stargate becomes connected to a far-off planet through a wormhole that opens when all 7 chevrons are locked in. Jackson travels through the wormhole with O'Neill and his group, which also includes Riley, Porro, Freeman, Brown, Ferretti, and Kowalski. On the planet Abydos, which is covered in desert, they emerge within a pyramid. Jackson makes a fruitless attempt to find the symbols needed to make the Stargate voyage back. O'Neill gives Kowalski the command to make camp. When Jackson goes to investigate, a big animal with a harness takes him away. Following O'Neill, Kowalski, and Brown, they find a human tribe engaged in the mining of an unusual mineral. To secure base camp, O'Neill telephones the others. Jackson discovers that the people speak a dialect of ancient Egyptian and can converse with them after following them back to their city. He finds out that because of an amulet Catherine gave him, the tribe views him and his allies as representatives of their deity. R.A. Jackson is given his daughter Shayuri as a gift by the tribe's chieftain Kasuf, and while he initially rejects her, he eventually develops feelings for her. O'Neill makes friends with Skyra, Kasuf's teenage son, and his pals. That evening, as Ra's army kills Porro and Riley and sets up shop atop the pyramid, they seize Ferretti and Freeman. Jackson discovers that R.A. is an extraterrestrial who arrived on Earth in the time of the ancient Egyptians and took on human bodies in order to prolong his own life through conversations with the tribe and concealed markings. These people were made into slaves by R.A., who then sent some of them to Abydos via the Stargate in order to extract a mineral needed for alien technology. To stop the Stargate from being used, Earth's population rose up, toppled Ra's overseers, and dug it under. Jackson discovers a cartouche during this research that has 6 of the Stargate's 7 symbols on it, but the 7th has been worn away and broken off. Jackson, O'Neill, Brown, and Kowalski engage Ra's forces in gunfire as they make their way back to the pyramid. Kowalski is hurt and Brown is killed. After being taken prisoner, Jackson and O'Neill are brought before R.A. and his guards, who remove their armored headgear to reveal that they are humanoids. After a gunfight, Jackson is murdered, leaving O'Neill injured and imprisoned among the rest. R.A. regenerates Jackson by encasing his body in a contraption like a sarcophagus. R.A. informs Jackson that he has discovered a nuclear bomb that O'Neill took with him in secret. R.A. has utilized his own technology to augment the bomb's explosive force by a factor of 100 and is threatening to send it back to Earth via the Stargate. R.A. commands the human tribe to watch as he gets ready to make Jackson put the others to death in order to show off his might. However, Skyra and his allies set up a distraction that lets Freeman die and lets Jackson, O'Neill, Kowalski, and Ferretti escape. To hide from R.A., they take to the neighboring caverns. Skyra draws a victory sign on a wall, which Jackson interprets as the last symbol, as he and his pals rejoice. After helping Skyra topple the last of the overseers, O'Neill and his remaining troops attack R.A., who sends out fighter ships against the humans and tells his ship to depart. When the humans outside run out of ammunition and are forced to surrender to the pilots of the fighter ships, the rest of the tribe rebels against the guards and overthrows them after realizing that their false gods are actually humanoids. After Shayuri is slain, Jackson uses a teleportation device to steal her body and get onto Ra's ship, leaving O'Neill to face Ra's guard captain, Anubis. Shayuri recovers after Jackson puts her in the regeneration device, but R.A. finds them and tries to kill Jackson. After Anubis is killed by O'Neill's activation of the teleportation mechanism, Jackson and Shayuri are able to leave the ship. R.A. is killed and the ship is destroyed when O'Neill and Jackson transfer the bomb to Ra's ship. After the humans are set free, Jackson decides to stay behind with Shayuri and the others, while the other members of the team, O'Neill, Kowalski, and Ferretti, return to Earth.